In my previous life, my husband suddenly died of a brain hemorrhage right there in his office. By the time I made it to the hospital, I only saw his body. I was so devastated that I threw up blood on the spot and ended up bedridden. On my deathbed, I saw the news that the winner of $100 million lottery was my husband. And it was my best friend standing next to him claiming the prize. I died of anger right there. When I opened my eyes again, it was the day my husband had just died. Luna, you need to stay strong, okay? Even though Logan is gone, you still have me, your best friend. I'll always be here for you. Mary kept talking non-stop when she saw me at the hospital. I looked down at my own hands and feet, realizing I had been reborn back to the day my husband Logan died. In my last life, I heard at work that Logan had a brain hemorrhage and was rushed to the hospital. By the time I arrived, he was already gone. Weeks of overtime and grief took a toll on me, leading to that dreadful day I collapsed and couldn't get up again. And my mother-in-law not only hid my illness from my parents but also brought me home and gave up on treatment. On my deathbed, the TV announced the winner of $100 million lottery, and it was my dead husband Logan. And right by his side was my dear friend, Mary. Snapping out of it, I saw Mary's fake face. It must be that she knew Logan won the lottery, and they plotted to fake his death to keep the money all to themselves. Luna, don't get too upset. You're not in great health already. What if something happens because of Logan's death? She kept on. I calmly pushed Mary away. Where's Logan's body? Take me to see him. Mary was a bit stunned, probably not expecting me to keep my cool. In the ward. I walked in, and there Logan was, covered with a white cloth. Mary tried stopping me when I went to pull back the cover, saying I might not handle it well. I pushed her aside, lifted the cloth, and there he was, looking so calm and peaceful, no sign of death at all. I couldn't get a reaction out of him. He must have done something to feign it. Fine then. I called the crematorium. Hey, my husband's dead. I want him cremated right now. Mary panicked when she heard that. No way, it's too soon to cremate him. I looked her in the eye. Why keep him here when he's dead, making us all upset? His mom hasn't even seen him one last time, Mary nervously added, scared I'd really have Logan taken away. I replied coldly, my mom's not well enough to handle seeing all this. Better cremate him sooner. She bit her lip, rushing off to call Logan's mom. I smirked, curious how they tried to stop me. Logan, you like pretending to be dead? Let's send you to hell for real. By the time the cremation van arrived, Logan's mom got there too, as they lifted him onto the van. You jinx, our Smith family must be cursed to have you as a daughter-in-law. Took my son away and won't even let me see him one last time. Logan's mom threw a tantrum the moment she arrived. In such a rush to cremate him, are you off to see some other man? Our family must have committed some great misfortune to bring a fox like you in. Shameless woman, why didn't you die with my son? I watched her rolling on the ground, wearing that fur coat like she didn't care how she looked. People were gathering around, whispering things like, at least let his mother see him one last time. She doesn't seem like the type to settle down. Who dresses up like that with her husband just dead? Must be coming from someone else's place. I didn't mind those comments, but Mary rushed to help Lily up. Aunt, please get up. Luna didn't mean it. Lily stood, pointing accusingly, get out. The Smith family isn't yours anymore. Don't you dare handle my son's funeral. I smiled slightly. Mom, I didn't want to upset you by telling you, but it seems you're handling it just fine. You weren't rushing to see your son, but had time to make a scene here. Looks to me he's not even dead to you. Lily and Mary's faces faltered. I just got anxious hearing about the cremation, now I'm going to see my son. I pointed to the funeral van. There, he's right on that. Lily glanced at the van, panicked, yelling, Luna, that van is full of bad luck, for carrying dead people. How dare you put my son on such a thing? What if it ruins his luck? You're absolutely heartless, after all the good he did for you. I feigned confusion. Mom, what are you talking about? That van carries the deceased, and your son is one, right? What bad luck in that? Lily's face darkened, glaring at me, not expecting me to debate back. Mary stepped in. Luna, don't blame Aunt. The tradition back home says the deceased rest at home 3 days before the funeral. Lily nodded quickly. Yes, get him down now. You just don't have Mary's sense. 3 days it is, who's afraid of whom? But Logan can't come into our complex, nobody wants a corpse nearby. So, back to the countryside he goes. It was like they were prepared for it. Logan's family had set up a morning hall early. The yard had tables ready for guests. The people coming for the meal were all cheerful, like there wasn't a hint of someone having passed away. Lily, especially, was raising her glass, her old face breaking into such a wide smile that it could trap a fly. Mary looked at me and said, "Luna, you've been working really hard. Let me watch over things, you should go get some rest." I calmly grabbed some food and sat next to Logan. "No need, it's not your husband. What are you watching over?" Mary's face went dark as she glared at me. I waved her off. "We're supposed to keep vigil for 3 days, right? I'll be here the whole time. No one gets near him." Mary gave me one last look and reluctantly went to talk to Lily. The two of them huddled in a corner, trying to figure out what to do. I followed them and overheard Mary anxiously saying, "What are we going to do? Logan's going to starve if he doesn't eat for 3 days." Lily's expression soured too. "That dreadful woman is ruining everything. I'll slip her a sleeping pill later, let her sleep through it." I smirked and returned to my spot. "Trying to eat, huh? Might as well call it your last supper." I sat next to Logan's body. Before long, Lily came over, smiling as she handed me a glass of water. "Daughter-in-law, I'm sorry for judging you before. You must be exhausted. Have some water." I waved her off. "No need, Mom. You should go rest early. I'll keep vigil over my husband these 3 days. I won't let anyone else help." Lily's face turned dark immediately and she blurted out, "How's that gonna work? He'll starve like that." If I didn't know she was talking about Logan, I might have thought she was the perfect mother-in-law. "Thanks, Mom, but if I get hungry, I'll just grab something." Lily gritted her teeth, practically ready to curse, "But you should at least drink some water." Seeing that she was about to force it down my throat, I pretended to take a sip. Satisfied, Lily finally left. That night, I pretended to fall asleep beside the coffin. Before long, I heard footsteps. "That wretched woman made my son go a whole day without eating, I'm so mad," said Lily. Then Mary spoke, "Let Logan eat already, he must be starving." I heard Mary walk over and pat Logan's face. "Logan, it's me." "Are you awake?" Logan's voice replied, "Awake. The drugs only last half a day." When I opened my eyes, Luna was right there watching over me. It nearly scared me to death. "How's she still okay?" With her heart condition and all that overtime, seeing me dead should have done her in already. Lily snorted, "That witch doesn't love you at all. Otherwise, how could she have no reaction to seeing you like that?" I listened, smirking. In the last life, Owen really did get sick following their plan and eventually died from rage. But now, I'm back for another round. No way I'm falling for that again. "Son, eat up already. I'll figure out a way to get you divorced from Luna, then the lottery prize won't concern her one bit." All right, I'm starving after a whole day without food." At this, I pretended to wake up. "Who's there? Who's talking?" Logan had to lie back down and play dead while Mary and Lily hid the food, standing to the side. "Luna, you fell asleep from exhaustion. Maybe go inside and sleep," Mary suggested. Looking at them, I shook my head. "No way. I'm staying here to watch over my husband." Their faces darkened to near charcoal, but they dared not say anything, afraid of ruining their plans. That night, I found a rope and tied it to both mine and Logan's hands. If he moved, I'd wake up. In the morning, Mary and Lily's eyes were practically burning with anger. After all, I kept their son hungry for a whole day and night. Could they not hate me? Another day passed like this. Lily tried the same trick again, handing me a cup laced with sleeping pills. I played along, pretended to drink it, and acted like I fell asleep at night. Lily and Mary sneaked over. Logan quickly sat up. Even a coma patient needs to stretch sometimes, let alone a healthy man like Logan. But just as he moved, I raised my head, shocked to see him. "Honey, weren't you dead? How are you sitting up?" Logan didn't expect me to wake up, frozen between sitting and standing. Lily reacted first, "My son, thank God you're back. This is a blessing for the Smith family." Logan followed her lead. "Mom, it felt like I was on the brink of death. It's great to be back." How could I resist joining this act of affection? I threw my arms around Logan. Darling, it's so great to have you back. Let's never part again. At this, Logan, Lily, and Mary's faces all turned a very dark shade. Mary cut in, tone sharp, all right. Now that Logan's awake, let's tell everyone and stop this funeral. I shot back at her, Mary, you've worked hard helping out. But as you're an outsider, you can head home. We'll handle our family matters ourselves. Mary clenched her teeth, looking at Logan for help. Logan slightly shook his head, signaling her not to act rashly. Mary could only scoff and turn to leave. That night, I pulled Logan aside. Honey, now that you're okay, I need to sue that hospital for misdiagnosing you. Logan froze for a moment, no, don't. They didn't mean it, it might have been a mistake. After notifying our relatives, I went home with Logan and Lily. Both of them were lost in thought. After all, Logan's fake death plan failed, and with just a month until the lottery claims, regardless of reluctance, I'd be entitled to half. I was on the bus, munching away, happy as can be. Lily shot me a glare. All you ever do is eat. Why haven't you given me a grandson yet? I glanced over at Logan. Mom, you can't just blame me. Maybe it's Logan who's got the issue. Lily's face changed instantly. What's wrong with my son? Seems to me you're the one who can't have kids. If it were someone else, I'd have a grandchild by now. I'd already gotten checked at the hospital. No problem on my end. I took another look at Logan. Who knows what's up with him, not that it matters anymore. All I want now is to get this divorce, take the money, and walk away. I mean, why not look after myself this time around? I'd be nuts not to. But I figured these two wouldn't make it easy for me to get anything. When we got home, Mary was there. She'd cooked up a storm, welcoming us warmly. You're back. I thought you'd be tired from the trip, so I whipped up some dinner for you. The second Logan saw Mary, he couldn't take his eyes off her. And Mary flirted right back. Lily was giddy, the wrinkles on her face deepening with joy. Mary, you're such a catch. Whoever marries you is one lucky guy. Logan nodded. True, Mary's really got those homey skills. I chimed in. Why not set her up with Logan's single brother, that went over about as well as a lead balloon? Lily got offended. You mean Jack? Everyone knows he's just a hoodlum and disabled too. You want Mary to suffer, Logan shook his head in disapproval. Yeah, you're talking about ruining Mary's life. I snickered to myself. Funny how when they were conspiring against me, nobody cared about my misfortunes. But now with Mary, even suggesting something sets them off. Double standards much, hey, I was just kidding. No need to get all serious. I turned to Lily. If you like her so much, make Mary your goddaughter. That way she's family. Their expressions were mixed, but nobody said a word. For the rest of the meal, I was the only one enjoying myself. Seems like Logan and Lily are planning to divorce me soon. I just have to keep my guard up. Who knows how nasty they'll get. Later that night, I went to my room while Logan, Lily, and Mary stayed watching TV. Lily had asked Mary to stay over, likely to discuss something. I decided to eavesdrop, leaving my phone as a recorder behind the couch. Around midnight, when everyone had gone to their rooms, I retrieved the phone and went straight to the part where they were talking. Mary started. Logan and Lily, I'm 3 months in already. What if I start showing? What then? That explained a lot. Mary had been carrying Logan's child all along. I thought the issue of us not having kids was Logan's. I'd never mentioned it, for his sake. But now I was questioning if the child was even his. Then I heard Lily. Don't worry, Mary. This is the family's first big grandchild. I'll make sure he proudly carries our family name. Luna's days are numbered, Lily continued. I've got some workers ready. When we leave, they'll come and make sure she has no choice but to divorce, and leave with nothing. Logan then added, yeah, her heart condition could kill her on the spot. That'd save us the whole divorce trouble. Chills ran down my spine at how cruel this family was. If they're willing to go that far, I won't hold back anymore. Late that night, I called Logan's cousin and invited her over in a few days. In my last life, when I was brought home in poor health, she offered to take care of me but ended up treating me terribly. I was ready to let things go, but this family pushed too far. Now it was on them. Logan supposedly took a few days off for me to rest, but ended up leaving with Lily, leaving me alone. Right after they left, Logan's cousin Lisa showed up. She waltzed in like she owned the place, barking orders. Lisa wanted the master bedroom, which was sweet relief to me, but I pretended to argue a bit. She snapped at me instantly. Logan's my brother. If he were here, I'd choose any room I want. You're just an outsider, who are you to tell me anything? Some people just seem determined to make bad choices. Fine by me, I moved to the guest room without much fuss. Later that night, I heard some rustling noises at the door. I quietly opened the door a crack and, unsurprisingly, it was Logan and Lily sneaking back and letting some workers in. In the dark, a few shadows quietly slipped into the master bedroom. Meanwhile, Logan and Lily were waiting by the door, ready to catch someone in the act at the right moment. They obviously didn't know I was staying in the guest room, and that the person in the master bedroom was actually his dear cousin. After a short scream from a woman, things went quiet inside. The master bedroom has good soundproofing, so I didn't hear anything else. 2 hours later, Logan angrily kicked open the master bedroom door. Damn it, Luna, how dare you bring a man here while I'm on a business trip? Divorce. But when he turned on the light, he was shocked. Lisa? What are you doing here? I pretended to have just woken up and opened the guest room door. Honey, mother-in-law, why are you back in the middle of the night? When Lily heard Lisa's name, she rushed to the master bedroom and screamed, Lisa, how come it's you? I joined the commotion, and inside the room, several naked bodies were tangled together, which was very eye-catching. Lisa screamed, who are you people? I'm going to charge you with rape. Lily covered Lisa with a blanket and glared at the men, get lost now. Once the men left, Logan's eyes were red, glaring at me, how did Lisa end up here? I shivered in fear. I was lonely living here by myself, so I asked Lisa to keep me company. She insisted on staying in the master bedroom, so I let her. How did those men get in? I'm calling the cops, gonna charge them with rape and breaking in. Logan's hatred was practically tangible as he gritted his teeth, leave it to me. I'll handle this. Of course, Logan wouldn't dare call the cops, because if the workers told the truth, both Logan and Lily could end up in trouble. So Lisa had to endure the situation. Logan took Lisa to the hospital, and Lily glared at me hatefully, Lisa being hurt is all your fault. Why did you call her here? I sneered, so, Mom, are you saying it should have been me in that bed? Your tone sounds like you knew those men would be here. Could it be you hired them? Lily looked guilty, of course not, why would I hire someone to make a fool out of my son? What do you take me for, crazy? That night, Lisa was taken to the with multiple soft tissue injuries and a ruptured corpus luteum. She had to rest in bed for a while. Outside the hospital room, I watched Logan and Lily whispering, and it seemed like they were plotting their next move. After all, divorcing me was no longer feasible. If they tried something again, it would be obvious they orchestrated it. I was curious to see what they'd try next. A few days later, I got a call from Logan's phone, Mr. Logan, we wanted to inform you that the large insurance policy you took out for your wife has officially come into effect. So that's their plan, a sinister one indeed. They intended to get rid of me. I acted like I didn't know anything and put Logan's phone back. A few days later, Logan said he'd taken a month off and wanted to go on a road trip with the family. So this is what they had in mind. I didn't object and agreed. On departure day, Logan even brought Mary along. The three of them chatted happily, looking more like a family than I did. I felt like an outsider. Once we dropped off our luggage at a rural B&B, Logan said he wanted to take me hiking. I noticed Lily and Mary exchanging some shady glances and realized what they were up to. So this is their plan. I agreed willingly, a chance to see if Logan really dared to push me off a cliff. We climbed the mountain, with Logan being uncharacteristically sweet and chatty. Whenever he thought I was tired, he even offered to carry me. I chuckled to myself, letting him carry me might be a quicker way to die. When we reached the summit, I pretended to rest. I watched as Logan scouted the area, glancing at the cliff and back at me. I acted unaware of his scheming and drank some water. Once I was ready, I stood up, let's head back, dear. I'm tired. But Logan suddenly jumped, no. He said, "We finally made it to the top. How can we not take pictures?" I smirked and shook my head. "You go on and take some. I'm scared of heights." Logan couldn't agree to that. With his intentions, he wouldn't dare let me take photos. "How about you come here? After all these years of marriage, I haven't taken any good pictures of you." His persistence seemed fishy, so it would be weird if I refused. I moved to a spot near the cliff, wedging my foot into a rock crevice firmly. Logan stood a little distance from me, pretending to take pictures non-stop. "Not really, sweetheart. The composition is all wrong. How about moving a bit back? Does he think I'm dumb? Behind me is a sheer drop. No way I'm moving. Why don't you step back for a better angle?" Logan gritted his teeth, squatting down pretending to adjust his camera for a while. "Sweetheart, your pose doesn't look natural. Let me help you adjust it." Even someone oblivious to his motives would sense something was off by now. This guy was pathetically transparent. I grinned. "Sure, come help me." He put his phone down and approached, his face suddenly turning sinister. "Sweetheart, you know people might never find you if something happens here." I chuckled. "Exactly, so don't you dare die on me. Otherwise, I won't be able to explain it when I head back down the mountain alone." Logan smirked as he tried to position me. He lifted one of my feet but didn't notice how stuck my other foot was. Then he suddenly shoved me. "See you in the next life, honey." I felt my body tilt backward, and I quickly grabbed Logan's hand. If I was going down, he was coming with me. Logan didn't expect me to grab him. The momentum sent him sprawling further than me, slipping towards the cliff's edge. But he held onto my hand, crying out, "Please, honey, don't let go. I don't want to die." Seeing him like this was almost funny. "Tell me, did you actually plan to kill me?" Logan couldn't dare admit it. He shook his head quickly. "No, honey, I swear I didn't want to harm you. It was just a joke." I glared at him. "I'm giving you one last chance, otherwise no one will know if I just let go on this deserted mountain." Logan had no choice but to confess. "I'm sorry, honey. Mary told me to do it. She said if I pushed you over, nobody would know it was me. They'd just think you fell accidentally. You and Mary, the two of you have been together for a while, haven't you?" "Yeah." She came onto me. Half a year ago, on our trip, she climbed into my bed. I couldn't resist, so seeing my expression change, Logan quickly begged, "I'm sorry, honey. I know I've sinned terribly. I'm a horrible person. But if you help me up, I'll devote myself to you from now on." "Why should I believe you? How do I know you won't try something else?" "Those workers who came to our house recently, you arranged that, didn't you?" Logan nodded. "Honey, I know you can't trust me now, but I promise to prove my sincerity. I won the lottery. We could split it, 50-50. Finally, he admitted it. I sighed with relief. That was my goal when I came up here with Logan. "What lottery?" "I won 100 million. I was planning to divorce you, marry Mary, and live it up with her." "Did you never consider sharing it with me after all these years together?" Logan wouldn't dare tell the truth. "Of course I did. But Mary encouraged me to keep it all for myself, and she knows how to sweet-talk me in bed." So I couldn't help myself. Watching him squirm, I let a devious thought cross my mind. "Actually, I forgot to tell you, I went to the doctor. There's nothing wrong with me. I can have kids. The problem is with you." Logan froze, then blurted out, "But Mary's been pregnant for 3 months. The timeline matches." Seeing my expression darken, Logan quickly backtracked. "That deceitful woman tricked me. She must have made me the fall guy." "Well, figure that out. But if you want me to pull you up, tell me where you hid the lottery ticket." He hesitated. "I'll tell you once I'm up, okay?" I laughed coldly. "Then you can tell me in a dream." I'll tell you," Logan panicked, his eyes darting around as he tried to lie again. I knew him too well. "I've been recording our conversation. Tell me the truth, and we split the winnings. Lie, and I'll charge you with attempted murder. You can spend that money from a jail cell." Logan was terrified. He quickly came clean. "I rented a safe deposit box at the Sherry Bank. The ticket's there. The password is my mom's birthday." "How do I know you're not lying?" Logan became desperate. "I swear it's true. I didn't even tell my mom, just to keep it safe. We can check right after we get down the mountain." Seeing he seemed honest, I nodded and prepared to help him up. but his hands were sweaty in midair. As I pulled, he slipped from my grasp and fell. I watched helplessly as Logan disappeared from my sight, plummeting to the bottom. Not a single scream. Though I wasn't responsible for his death, it happened right before my eyes. My mind blanked for a moment. Once I processed it, my first instinct was to call the police. Maybe there was still a chance to save him. I did want revenge, but I never intended for anyone to die. I called the police, and soon they were on their way. The rescue team found Logan's body at the cliff's base. He'd struck his head on a rock and died instantly. I followed them down the mountain, where Lily and Mary were waiting at the entrance. Seeing the police and the rescue team, they assumed Logan had succeeded and couldn't hide their smiles. When they saw a body being carried down, Lily rushed forward. "Officer, her death has nothing to do with my son. She just fell. My son is innocent." I stepped out from behind the cops. "Mom." Lily's face turned pale, and Mary froze in place. With a dawning realization, Lily threw off the sheet covering Logan and saw her son, bloodied and lifeless on the stretcher. "Son. How could it be you? You must be tricking Mommy." She wailed in anguish, clutching Logan's body. Wrapped in the jacket given to me by the female officer, I looked at Lily without sympathy. "Mom, he's gone. You should try to find peace." Funny, I didn't expect those words would come in handy so soon again. And this time, things were truly different. Logan was really dead. Lily was crying hysterically and pointed at me when she heard me speak. "Officer, I want to report a crime. This woman killed my son." She pushed him off the mountain. "It's all her fault." A police officer stepped in to pull Lily away. "We're taking Luna to the station now, and you should come too. We won't let a guilty person walk free, and we won't wrong an innocent one." At the police station, Lily kept yelling at me, insisting I was the cause of her son's death and that I should face the death penalty. I turned to the officers. "Officers, I noticed there are security cameras at the top of the mountain. Can we check them? Logan's death wasn't my fault. He tried to kill me. Logan didn't know there were cameras set up at the cliff before he brought me there. Whether I saved him or not, he was already guilty." Lily stopped crying and blocked the police. "Why bother? It's obviously her fault. How else could she get down while my son didn't? Are you even doing your jobs? Checking the cameras is pointless. He's already dead." An officer looked at Lily. "Ma'am, we need to check the footage to see who's responsible. If you keep obstructing us, we'll charge you with interfering with police work." Lily stepped aside, and Mary guided her, looking just as lost. The footage showed everything. After Logan and I climbed the mountain, he acted suspiciously, glancing down the cliff and at me with ill intentions. Then came the moment he grabbed one of my legs and shoved me. The camera caught it all. Lily's face turned ashen when she saw it. Mary pointed at the screen. "No, look. Luna's grabbing Logan's shirt. She's doing it on purpose." I calmly replied, "I was about to be pushed off a cliff. Reflexively grabbing for something is normal, don't you think?" The officers agreed with me, and Mary gave me a bitter look. The footage then showed me holding onto Logan's hand, trying to pull him up. In the end, Logan fell. The entire scene was clear. I had nothing to do with his death. Lily and Mary had nothing to say. A month later, I went to the bank to access a safe deposit box Logan mentioned and retrieved a lottery ticket. I claimed the winnings at the lottery center. Out of the $1 billion prize, after taxes, I got $80 million. Since Logan and I weren't divorced, I was the primary inheritor along with Lily. Lily was already waiting at the lottery center entrance. In just a month, her hair had turned gray. "Luna, the ticket was my son's. You should give all the money to me." Mary's pregnancy was now obvious. After Logan's death, she didn't bother hiding it and moved into my house to prepare for the baby. "Yeah, I'm carrying Logan's child. The lottery winnings should include his share too." Mary was Lily's only hope. Otherwise, she couldn't cope with losing her son. I looked at Mary's belly and then at Lily. "Mom, after Logan and I couldn't have kids, I got checked at the hospital. The doctor said I was fine. The problem was Logan. He couldn't have kids." Lily was taken aback and immediately denied it. "Impossible. Then how did Mary get pregnant?" "That's something she should explain." I glanced at Mary's belly. Here's the deal, I kept some of Logan's hair. When the child is born, we'll do a paternity test. If the child is Logan's, I'll give you all the money. If not, Mary, your involvement in Logan's plan against me will come to light, and I'll sue you. Lily readily agreed, but Mary seemed very nervous. Within days, I heard Mary had secretly aborted the child and fled after selling some jewelry she took from my house. When Lily saw Mary without the pregnancy, she finally realized everything. On the spot, she fainted, overwhelmed by the realization that both her son and would-be grandchild were gone. After the abortion, Mary sold off what she could from my house and disappeared in disgrace. Lily, upon waking, couldn't cope with the truth about losing her son and potential grandchild and went insane. I held the power to decide her future. Without hesitation, I sent Lily to a mental health institution, covering 20 years' worth of fees to ensure she stayed there for life. As for Mary, I wasn't about to let her get away scot-free. I immediately reported the theft. While the police were investigating, they discovered more damning evidence, her conversations with Logan about harming me. With multiple charges against her, Mary received a 20-year prison sentence. So, my husband was dead, my mother-in-law went mad, and my best friend was locked up. I was left with $80 million all to myself and started a happier life alone. The end.